Hi, hello, and welcome back to Body-Based Therapy with me, Devaraj. Today we're going to look at worrying. Worrying is a mental behavior, and of course it has some use. We may need to think about what's coming up in the future so that we can plan an effective strategy. But at the same time, it can also get too much. It's like it can take our mind over, and we find ourselves excessively worrying about stuff that we know we don't really need to worry about, or we don't need to worry about right now. And this, of course, can bring our quality of life down. So what can we do about worrying from the perspective of body-based therapy? Well, a basic principle that you will know if you've been following my channel for a while is that with any mental behavior, if you can make it physical, then it can process. The mind on its own cannot really process a great deal of repressed energy. We have to identify the mental behavior and find a way to make it physical. In videos before, I've talked about, running a lot of workshops, and often 1 or 2 days in, the group are a bit resistant. They're getting a bit blamey, they're getting a bit whiny, complaining. At the beginning of the next session in the group room, I can get them all to complain and whine and blame as much as they want, and to really make that behavior physical for like 10 minutes, and then it shifts the energy and people are re-engaged and excited to continue on the therapeutic journey. And with worrying, we can apply a similar principle. We're not actually going to act out the worrying, which we also could try, but in this video we're going to use a Reichian exercise that invokes the kind of behavior of worrying and then allows that energy to move and be processed. And as this is an exercise that is done lying down, I'm just going to move the camera so we can look more closely how to do it. Okay, so I'm down on the mat in my Reichian working position. My feet are a comfortable distance from my ass. My soles are flat on the mat, and my feet are also about hip width apart. My knees are roughly vertical, my arms are relaxed, and my back and head are on the mat. And what I'm going to do in this exercise is to furrow my brow to the maximum, actually really trying to create physical ridges in the brow by pressing the eyes up. And then keeping my brow furrowed to the max, I'm going to cycle through 2 different Reichian breathing techniques. So I've got my brow furrowed. The first is normal Reichian belly breathing. So I push my abdominals out, particularly my lower abdominals, to create an inhale, because this draws my lungs down. My throat is relaxed, my mouth is very slightly open. And then to exhale, I relax my belly and compress it back in just a little bit. So together these techniques look like I've got my brow super furrowed, if I'm doing this breath technique correctly, using my belly to breathe in and out and having my throat relaxed and my mouth slightly open, this breathing should be almost soundless. And something I can do to help keep me present in my body when I do this is to make an R sound on the exhale. So let's look again with the R sound. My brow is super furrowed. Ah. 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 So this is not a loud or extended R sound, it's just a brief kind of sighing sound. Now something I noticed straight away when doing this is that as I exhale, this furrowing starts to relax a bit. So I need to guard against this. I need to really furrow that brow and try to keep it fully furrowed even on the exhale. And then the second of my 2 Reichian breathing techniques is this rapid belly inhale with a normal exhale, which looks like, without the brow furrowed, ah, 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 ah. So I'm pushing my belly up in a kind of flicking motion with the abdominals, and literally it takes like half a second to fully inhale. And then I hold it for a second or so, and then just relax it back down, like in the normal Reichian breathing technique we just did. This more powerful gesture will create more energy in the body, and we may start to get a real release from our head. So, brow fully furrowed. Ah, 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 ah. And for this exercise to work fully, we need to continue cycling between these 2 breathing techniques whilst keeping the brow fully furrowed for 6 minutes, changing the breath technique each minute. So for 1 minute we do the normal Reichian breathing with the brow fully furrowed, And then keeping the brow fully furrowed, we go into this rapid inhale belly with a normal exhale. So we end up doing 3 minutes of each breathing technique with the brow fully furrowed throughout, and that's 6 minutes in total. You may notice heat, you may notice tension, you may notice weird internal effects or contractions or spasming. Just allow any of this stuff to happen, and if it takes over the body, then you may have to stop the technique until it's died down and then begin again. Just allow this stuff to happen, don't do anything to try and induce it. It may or may not happen and it doesn't really matter. So don't get caught up in the idea that something really dramatic has to happen for a release to happen. It doesn't. Okay, so that's a great 6-minute workout that you can use to let go of worrying and to stop your mind from worrying when it should be doing something better. If you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, then do check out my website bioenergetics.org.uk. It's linked below, and there you can find online courses, books, all sorts of exciting materials. Okay, let's keep going with body-based therapy. It's good for us, and I'll speak to you again soon.